Welcome to the show, guys. Happy Tuesday. Excited to continue to get you guys daily content, particularly in the morning for your drive, for your commute, and for your day. I'm excited today to talk about quarterback beasts. We did an episode on running back beasts. We did an episode on wide receiver beasts. Today, it goes without saying that we got to do an episode on beasts. I'm excited to dive into this episode here and also talk a little bit about some quarterback draft strategy here for fantasy football 2024. Should you invest in one of these beasts early, or should you wait, and is there amazing value later on? Who is that value? We're going to discuss it right here, right now. Excited to dive in, guys. If you're new to the channel, you know the routine. Smash it, tap it, slap it. That's the routine if you're new. If you're already a regular here, you guys go ahead and do it, guys. Hit the thumbs up. I'm an independent. I don't have a four-letter network. Behind me, I do everything on my own. I got to earn my own here. That's why I'm the hardest worker in the industry. That's why I'm delivering on a high level for you guys and the only one giving you honest advice. Everybody else is just literally copying and pasting rankings, which won't help you. It just won't help you. Everyone, you can't win your fantasy league by playing it safe. And you also, can't take advice from people that are just playing it safe. You're not going to win your leagues. Okay, guys? Authentic advice here. Smash, tap it, slap it, turn on that bell. I'm also going to be doing breaking news here on my story, on not only just story mode, but in the reels, or they call them shorts here for YouTube and on this channel. Okay, so turn on that bell for NFL news as well. All right, and grab 16 rounds. If you haven't gotten 16 rounds, get it below. I've linked it. Use code SMASH to save. It'll put you light years ahead of the consensus. And I lay out all of these quarterbacks, exactly which ones I like in the 16-round drafts, which I've linked it below. All right, let's go. Let's drop a comment. Let's make this interactive. All right, let's talk about these quarterback beasts. I really want to talk mainly a little bit about like quarterback strategy. And there's a couple ways you could play this. Now, typically, I'm the type of guy that waits on quarterbacks, okay? I really am. But this year, some of these wide receivers and the talent that's coming off in rounds pretty much 2 to 4, I'm tempted to anchor my team with my ace quarterback. And that's what I teach in 16 rounds. Anchor your team with an ace quarterback. And, at the end of the day, you could get away with that. So we'll talk about these beasts. I'll tell you what I think. And again, there is also value later. I'll tell you guys some values at the end of the video, okay? So the first guy that I love, I actually ended up getting him in my 2K buy-in league, is Josh Allen, okay? Why do I love this guy so much? I mean, it's pretty obvious, okay? Number one quarterback last year in fantasy points with 392, fourth in passing yards, fifth in attempts. Guys, this is huge. I love a quarterback. Not only does he run, okay, which is amazing. You've got that rushing upside in the quarterback. Mind you, 15 rushing touchdowns. He's taken a regression. Same with Jalen Hurts, which we'll talk about in a second. Pinnacle year when it comes to rushing touchdowns. But the thing is, this guy is still fourth in passing, which is absolutely amazing. I love a quarterback that throws the ball. He's that perfect balance of everything you want. Knock on wood, very durable. I love the addition of Keon Coleman. I absolutely love him. I think he's a great sleeper, great value. You're getting a wide receiver one on his team for an absolute steal. And look for his ADP to rise. Keon Coleman, absolutely love him. Love Dalton Kincaid. They got James Cook. They actually got a real true workhorse in Ray Davis. And, they drafted him. So they've got some really, really good offensive weapons. And Josh Allen is as consistent as they come. The big question is when you look at that fantasy football draft strategy, do you want to invest in Allen early? And like I said, I didn't have a problem doing it in my 2K buying league. I could have easily waited, got myself someone else that's going to come back. A guy like Justin Herbert, which I absolutely love. And again, we'll talk about that in a second. But, I mean, Josh Allen, it's kind of a no-brainer. And the cool thing is, once you got Josh Allen, right, or any of these beasts, right, any of these quarterback beasts, you are done at quarterback pretty much, especially in a one-quarterback league. In a two-quarterback league, that's different. And even if you decide to go running back and wide receiver, some of these skilled positions, and wait on quarterback, there's still a ton of depth at quarterback this year, okay? But Josh Allen, an absolute beast. Again, number one in fantasy points, fourth in passing yards, fifth in attempts. That's what I look at. And the guy rushes a lot. He's going to get you some rushing touchdowns as well. Love, love, love him, okay? Next guy is Jalen Hurts, finished number 2 last year. Now, what I don't like about Hurts is that, again, I'm not seeing as many touchdowns. I like to get a lot of touchdowns passing. Only 23 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. He had a bit of a dip last year, but he is still a beast, man. The guy is a monster. He's a beast. And they brought in Barkley to, I think, alleviate some of that pressure near the goal line. I think it's going to be a little less tush-push and a little more Barkley near that goal line this year. I mean, this guy is as safe as they come at quarterback. I do like Josh Allen a little bit better. I just feel a little more consistency there. I feel a little bit more upside there. Mind you, Hurts has got some great weapons. They just paid A.J. Brown a lot. They got Devontae Smith. They got Saquon Barkley, a lot of checkdowns, a lot of short passes that it could end up to be big yard plays with the talent of Saquon Barkley. So, listen, I love Hurts. And at the end of the day, I think Hurts would probably get him, round 3 or 4. It all depends on what your league does. Now, if your league decides, hey, I want to wait on quarterback a little bit, you're getting these guys round 3 to 4, which is fine. But some teams, some of your league mates might want to grab a quarterback earlier, and easily Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen could be gone very quick. So feel out your league, sense it out. And if you want one of these quarterbacks, you got to act relatively early. And I'm telling you, when we're looking at a strategy perspective, I don't see it as such a bad idea to get a quarterback in those early rounds, because it's a disaster in rounds 2 to 4, 1 to 4 even, because people are getting like Nico Collins and like Keenan Allen's. They're going like Ayuk and Debo back to back with so much uncertainty on who the one is. Like, we don't know if Nico's the one. They brought in Diggs. We don't even know if Dell could be the one. And in my 2K buy-in league, literally it went Nico, it went Keenan Allen, and then, Nico, Diggs, and then Tank Dell, rounds 3, 4, and 5. Right after each other. I mean, why would you do that? Why would you waste such an early draft capital pick on uncertainty at a wide receiver position? I just wouldn't do that personally. So again, that's why you can slide in one of these beast quarterbacks and you be rock solid, and then that's covered, okay? And there's a ton of depth at wide receiver and a ton of depth at running back. And again, I lay this all out for you guys in 16 rounds. So if you haven't gone 16 rounds, experience it. It's a game changer. It's a video training of me explaining all the optimal players. It's a printable cheat sheet, which I update till the season starts. And I'm going to do updated mock drafts every month up until the season starts, okay? So a ton of value in 16-round drafts. So it is a one-time payment. So don't worry about that. And I update it till the season starts. One time per season, of course, okay? You just get it again next year, all right? So again, the third guy here I want to talk about is Pat Mahomes. Had a bit of a down year last year. He's obviously a beast of a quarterback. And man, does he have options this year, man. Rashee Rice could be suspended for a little bit, but they got Worthy there. Is he worthy? I think he's going to be a good receiver, but I don't know if he's going to be consistent for you. And they got other options. Kelsey's obviously the one there. Pacheco's going to be consistent. They've got targets there. I don't think Tony's going to get some work, but you're looking at the same situation like CJ Stroud, which we're going to talk about in a second, like Justin Herbert, where there's a ton of amazing receiving options, right? But the core, but those wide receivers can't be trusted because we don't know who the one is, but it's good for the quarterback, bad for the wide receivers. And that's the type of situation you're getting with Mahomes. Mind you, I still think Kelsey's going to be safe. You're getting him at a slight discount, Kelsey, this year. But Mahomes, man, obviously 6th in passing yards last year, 0 touchdowns rushing. Well, he's not a huge rushing touchdown guy. I think he had like 4 last year and a couple the year before that. So, 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. I like to see that ratio a little higher on the touchdowns, a little less on those interceptions. Again, finished 8th last year in PPR, which doesn't really matter for quarterbacks, but finished 8th amongst quarterbacks last year. Not bad. So he's going to step up a little bit. Had a bit of a down year last year. Look for him to finish on top. Again, if you want to anchor your team with an ace quarterback, Mahomes is going to do it. He's durable. He's solid. He's consistent. He's got all the offensive weapons, and he's an absolute beast. All right, guys? Number 4 here. Let's keep going with these beasts. And mind you, I do want to do a disclaimer here that honestly, there's a ton of guys that can be beasts, like Jaden Daniels at rookie, but you don't want to anchor your team with a question mark. Does that make sense? Anthony Richardson, a lot of people drafting him early. What has he done in the NFL? Absolutely nothing. Okay, so you guys got to think. He played 4 games last year. 3 out of those 4 games, he had 4 rushing touchdowns in 3 games out of those 4 games he played. He's going to be a rushing touchdown monster, but do we trust Anthony Richardson? I think he's weighing in at 255. He's going to be a beast. He's going to put up a lot of rushing upside, but he hasn't finished a season, right? So there's some upside there, but there's some major risk. And typically when I anchor my team with an ace quarterback, I make sure that quarterback is going to get some work, is going to be a guy that's kind of solidified his position, is going to be solid, okay? And guys, if you want to get one of these beasts early, you still got a lot of depth for your backup. Jaden Daniels, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love. There's a ton of guys that are going to be great you can get later. Or if you want to make a decision, you can fade these guys, right? and maybe make Jordan Love your starter. But it just feels a little more warm and fuzzy to have a Josh Allen, a Jalen Hurts, or the next guy here, CJ Stroud, as my ace quarterback, okay? So let's get into CJ Stroud here. Finished 9th last year. Touchdowns weren't great. 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I'd like to see that go up, okay? Now, 4,000 yards, 8th in passing yards, okay? That's good. 4,108. That could go up this year for sure. 8th in passing, and he was like his rookie year. 14th in attempts. I want to see his attempts go up. I want to see his touchdowns go up. I want to see his passing yards go up. And that's definitely viable. He settled into the offense. They added Diggs. They got a ton of targets. Now, I just saw a quote, actually, that came out where they're saying that CJ Stroud said that he's got 5 wide receiver ones. That's crazy. Diggs, Dell, Nico, Brown. I don't even know who the other guy is. I think it's his tight end. Or he was talking about Mixon, or I think it was a tight end. But even though his Mixon's going to be a receiving back as well. He's got like 6. So, dude, this is great for Stroud. Like, absolutely amazing. Not good for the wide receivers. And like I said, people are drafting his wide receivers so high. What a waste. And you say, well, Joe, they're all going to get a ton of production. Are they really? 14th in passing attempts? He's not throwing enough to make all those guys give you a return on investment. Even if he was throwing a lot, there still is not a lot of fantasy points to go around to make all those guys finish as top, 10, 15 wide receivers. Now, mind you, I think Nico is going to have some big games. I think Diggs is going to have some big games. I think Dell is going to have some big games, okay? Like, I'm talking massive games where they have like 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns in one game. But that's not going to be consistent. So you're going to have inconsistencies with these wide receivers. But this is really good for Stroud. Again, not good for the wide receivers. So I encourage you guys to consider, a guy like Herbert, a guy like Stroud, but really be cautious about their wide receivers. Now, going back to Herbert, who's a value this year, we're talking sleeper quarterback, great value. He's looking to bounce back. So you got to look at trends. I lay this all out in 16 rounds, so you don't even have to do the work. I've done the research. I live and breathe this stuff, guys. Number 1 coach, number 1 podcast, because I live and breathe this, okay? Outside the box thinking. But I'm telling you, like, the opportunity is really good for Herbert. Opportunity is really good for Stroud. It depends on who you want, what other players are available, and how you want to mix and match your roster, okay? But Stroud, amazing. He's got a ton of upside, ton of weapons, okay? I love him as my ace quarterback. This year, I feel warm and fuzzy with him. He's got all the tools he needs to absolutely crush it. CJ Stroud, an absolute quarterback beast, okay? I'll give you one more beast here. And again, I've given you guys my thoughts on Anthony Richardson, on why, he could be a beast, but we don't know. We're looking for consistency. The next guy is Lamar Jackson, but I want to, talk about this one-on-one as a friend here. My gut's telling me I don't really trust Lamar Jackson. Let me tell you why, okay? He played 12 games in 2021 and 2022, so he has those injuries. Finished the season last year, 4th last year in fantasy points with 331 amongst quarterbacks, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Had himself an outstanding year, okay? But he hasn't had the year that he had in 2019 where he had 36 touchdowns. He's never thrown for over 30 touchdowns. The only time he did that was in 2019. Let me stand corrected. He did throw for 30 plus touchdowns, but it was only in 2019. He only had 1 year, 36 touchdowns that year. 1 year to throw over 30 touchdowns. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Joey makes it up in rushing. Now he's got a beast that is Derrick Henry in the backfield, which is great for Derrick Henry. I love him. And I think you're getting Derrick Henry at a discount this year. But Lamar Jackson, although being a beast, I am concerned. Now, I could say, well, maybe he ends up with an injury. He's due for it because we've seen a history of it. Finally finished last year. What type of trend are we getting? I don't know, man. For me, a guy that rushes a lot, even though he's going to be, relieved a little bit of that rushing, I still have some Lamar, Jackson trust issues when it comes to durability, okay? But aside from that, he's still a beast. He's still going to perform on a top level. He's still going to get those rushing yards. Again, a little bit less this year with Derrick Henry there, but it's Lamar Jackson. The guy scrambles well. The guy puts up yards. He's just not going to give you a ton of passing touchdowns, 24 last year, and he's just not going to do, the passing game as much as you want, okay? And that's where, Zay Flowers is good. He's going to get some volume, but again, I don't think the volume is going to be there as much as you want it to be there from a passing perspective, okay? And again, durability is something I question with him, okay? But an absolute beast yet again, all right? So again, there's going to be other beasts. There's going to be guys that emerge. And this is the year where a lot of guys are going to be tried and tested, man. Like Jaden Daniels, Drake May. There's going to be guys where it's like, okay, JJ McCarthy, what, like, he could have a great year with Addison and Jefferson. We don't know. There is other beasts. But as of right now, based on draft capital, these are the guys, the Strouts, the Josh Allens, the Hurts of the world, that you want to anchor your team early if you're going to make that decision. If you don't make that decision, we're talking draft strategy here, and you want to wait, there is still a lot of upside guys. And I lay all of them in 16 rounds, when to get them, who to get, who I like, and the whole strategy behind drafting quarterbacks, okay? Because it's very important that you have an ace quarterback in your league. You don't want to leave the position kind of to question. I believe by grabbing an Anthony Richardson, it's kind of up in the air, right? And remember, always have a backup plan for a backup plan. 2-quarterback league, always have 3 quarterbacks. 1-quarterback league, always have 2 quarterbacks on the roster. Why? Durability, bye weeks, lack of performance. Those 3 things are very, very important, guys. I really want to help you guys win your league. When I talk, it's practical talk, okay? It's not like cookie cutter, the top 10 running backs, these are it. No, it's not how you're going to win your leagues, guys. You got to have a backup. It's a belt and suspenders mentality, so you can be light years ahead of the consensus, a.k.a. the Consheepses, all right, guys? Ton of golden nuggets here for you, all right? You guys make a decision. Do you want to anchor your team with an ace? Do you want to wait a little bit? Still some safety later on? Totally up to you guys, all right? Grab 16-round draft solution. I assure you guys, you'll be light years ahead of competition. Use code SMASH to save. I've linked it below. Listen, I'm going to keep the content coming to you guys every morning. Smash it, tap it, slap it, hit the thumbs up, and drop a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Who's the beast in your life when it comes to quarterback for fantasy football 2024? Appreciate you guys. Love ya. I'll see you in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love talking fantasy, and there was some quarterback talk for you. We'll talk in the next video. Lion mentality. I'm out.